more of my African and Native descent men and women and other people that watch that I don't know of. And if you like and enjoy sound advice and hear somebody speak on topics and things, welcome. And to my subscribers and everybody that video over time, whether it's this video or last video, I appreciate it. And mainly for just having to challenge and think other ways other than just the way we are taught and shown, traditionally passed down and nurtured, breeded, and fostered to just believe without even having knowledge of. This one is for my young African descendants that live in America because I don't live in the other country. I've been to other countries, but I haven't had the time to indulge in the culture to see the differences. But I know by talking to other people from other countries, as I am, like that's from Africa, there is a difference on relationship. There is a different understanding on how to treat each other, how men treat their mothers, how their mother treat the men, how the brothers treat the sisters, how the sisters treat their brothers. But the same things that happen in this country happens all around the world. So, but besides culture wise and attitude wise and things that shape and form us, it's a little different. And I just, like I said, I haven't had the time. And but I want to talk about today is to the young brothers and the men as me. I'm 36. If you're 18 and you're finally dating, I just want to give some not so much of us like advice or like a counsel. I want to guide and challenge you to think because the one thing I always speak about is the power of oneness. For you to always think with your own mind, make your own decisions. As I say, your journey, your path is your choice. Choose wisely. You really have to do that, and you have to make a decision which direction you want to go, what path you want to follow. No man, no woman on this earth can make that decision for you. But hopefully, the guidance and how they challenge you throughout life, like as if you need to go find. I remember I was saying a story of a man. He gave his son some money and things they would need on their journey. He dropped them off at a place, and he said, "Find your way home." And they wasn't no older than I think 11 and 10. But he knew that every day they go out, they go to picnics. He take them to football games. He's a father that does all these things with them, and he had strong esteem in his sons. He basically challenged his sons, find your way home. He didn't leave them hanging. He gave them all. He basically what happened, and this is what I always talk about with being a parent or guardian or a person that's looked after someone. You give them all the tools and resources, so they won't have this. Just like, well, my father didn't show me this. My father didn't do that. Because a man that fails to raise their children, he failed them as a father. He failed them. There's a fail. I usually say success. There was a failure in that process. So in those process, he gave them all the tools and resources to get home. He made sure they understood direction. He gave them enough money. They know what money mean. He gave them a bag with the items that they needed just in case it took longer than they thought. But he made sure he gave them all the tools and resources. And that's basically that's me. I will do my best, and the more you respond to the better I'll become and the better you become. I don't have children. I didn't really have the time, or I didn't have the place. I didn't have the openness with my nephew in each intricate part because I'm not his father or my brother. That's just my brother. All I had was the example, and there was times when I can't say I was a good example because I never ran the streets. I never did drugs. They never seen me with an influx of women. And if I did, I told them like, yeah, we're not having sex. Okay, I ain't. I told because they're males like me. My mother would know. My mother would say things. My mother bold. She would say, "You having sex?" She'll meet the women like, "Y'all having sex?" A lot of them don't like. They did not like such as enjoy her conversation. But when they finally got to meet my mother, they was like, "Oh, okay, I see where you come from." And they know my mother wasn't a weak woman. My mother was not passive. My mother will give you the truth. So if anything, the truth came from mother. That's why I can't. Even my father. I just seen a video, a lady saying, I call, she don't even understand slavery. She's an African descendant woman talking about this is why I called our man daddy. My daddy wasn't there. No, you don't even know why. That's a horrible thing to do. You calling a man that did not even seed you a daddy. Think about that. That's slavery. That's a ownership over you. And he up there walking on stage like that was something big to be proud of. See, me, I would never deal. That's just me. And that's what I'm gonna talk about where I challenge you and if you have any understanding of guidance, maybe this will help you along your journey. I had wrote things down and I lost the paper and I was gonna do it this morning. The spirit led me to do this morning, so I'm gonna do it this morning. And the other one I'm gonna do, I want to do more of a research on it. That's why I haven't started that live. And I don't know why on YouTube when you set a time and a date, when you set it and you say okay, the date and the time be totally different from the time and date that you put it. I don't know why, but that's YouTube, and and I don't know if people can see the same time. Like if I pick 12:30 for some odd reason, it would say 8 o'clock at night when I save it. I don't know why. But this is about relationship. This is about dating, and if you have questions on like the hows and whys. For me, as I grew up, from my understanding, when a man admires a woman, I don't use the word like. Like is a word that I don't care for, and I try not to use it as much. You can tell in my language, trying to change the words I say. As I say, such as, and when you growing up, you have an admiration for a young lady. You go approach her and you talk to her, and then I notice now, based on a young lady life, how she was nurtured, how she grew up, and the family and the people she was around, her attitude and the way she basically the way she carried herself would determine who she is until a certain age. Basically, as determine who you are. And one thing I noticed as a young man so far, I'm 36. I still call myself a young man because I get that a lot because I'm always around older people, so you can understand where my knowledge come from. Even a lot of people that I listen to, like such as even listening to younger men, like men that say I'm a player, I'm a Casanova, like song by Gerald Levert, "Old Casanova," rest his soul. And those I used to not like those songs or enjoy listening to those songs. Now I will put them on just to listen because I listen to the words. And if you listen to a lot of the words, it kind of like give you an example. Because if we think about of the type of men that women admire, it's not good men. I'll check out Sarah Lena page. It's not good men. Women don't really want a good man because that requires them women to change what is not good. And if a person, most times you will hear growing up young men and some young women that's watching it or older men or men of age or people that just listen in. We're not telling women that they're wrong, young ladies that they're wrong. Like as when you hit a young man, you're wrong. A man is not supposed to hit you. A young man is not what you, but you're not supposed to antagonize him either. You're not supposed to keep bothering him. So basically, you're antagonizing. You're constantly picking on him. You're constantly messing with him. You're not supposed to do that because there's going to be a reaction after a long effect. Sometimes a quick effect because you don't know what's going on in his life. So for us to keep antagonizing people, keep provoking people, and then call them wrong, which I'm noticing more, we're calling good evil and evil good now. We're making zombie movies and showing zombies in love. A zombie is a person lost of soul and emotion and feeling. There is no love. If you don't have any feeling, there is no element of love. If you have no emotion, there is no element of love. If you have no soul, there is damn sure no element of love. And if you're only aiming for one thing in your life, you need to just aim for that. I will watch women and men tell I'm about money over MYOB, money over the B's, the negative word. If a man say that, that's what he mean. If a woman said I am busy, that's what she mean. She have no time for you. So I'll learn and gather all this information. And one of the first thing I will want to talk about to the young men and people listening to the men is the way you see yourself. If you don't see yourself as a strong man, why would any other person see you as a strong man? That's very important because there's times I know you think you like, well, I see myself as a strong man with nobody else. Don't worry about it because most people need a vision. So as you gain monetary gain, I'm going to use this one for example. They can't see your monetary gain because just because you went from 30,000 a year to 50,000 a year to 60 to 80, or now if you own a business, your business went from making a couple thousand a year to a 600,000 2 3 years later. People won't see that because what you're not going to do if you watch other videos is budget. You're not going to buy the Mercedes Benz. That's an $80,000 car. You only make 120,000 a year. You see how that makes no sense? I would rather save my money till I can go buy it straight out because I'm not trying to work off because we got these new people trying to teach credit. You don't need credit if you're doing the proper things for yourself, just like life. You don't have to worry about somebody backing you up. I don't need backup and say, well, Otha Williams Jr. is a good man. Well, my labor, my fruit, like we call it, fruits of our labor, speaks for itself. And if you need proof, I'll bring you people. I don't have I will bring you if you need to see a good credit, you can see where I've done in my credit report if you're using that. But if you're using people understand like, wow, who have you helped? Well, I don't brag, but this is the people. You can talk to them directly. Uh, Many people I have, this is not to brag, I've helped, they're not in the streets. People that chose not to listen to me, if they really was seeking my counsel and advice, they're not better. As I have a friend, we as I spoke, we have no more friendship. So if you don't think highly of yourself, if you don't have, I don't call it confidence. See the con in there? So look at your esteem, your buildup, your makeup of who you are. Is it at a low vibration or is it at a low vibration or a high vibration? Because that means you're working in your affirmations saying you are great, you are good. Your reinforcements, you're telling yourself there's nothing that can stop you. You are your own in of me. And then your empowerment. I am strong because I know yesterday I made it through what was meant to destroy me. So what was meant to destroy me, it didn't make me stronger. I made it through. So I know now when I go through that fire again, I'm coming out even better. I was like, man, that's fire. I'm like, man, your fire ain't hot enough for me. So no, it no longer bothers me. Because I was even getting to a point where even doing these YouTube lives, but I got encouragement from the spirit and from another brother named Derek Williams. I'm here for my own purpose. I'm here for a purpose. You got to know your purpose. So looking at what you're gaining for a relationship for a woman, that goes into my next one. What are you really looking for in a relationship? Relations and it's a ship. Those are separate. If you think about all the times, were you in relationships versus were you in relations with that person? And what I mean by that, relations is just sharing just common knowledge, common interests. It don't take no type of energy. It's not causing you no time. It's not no effort to have relations. You're getting what you want, and she's maybe getting what she wants. And more so, she's going to get. It's easy to just hand some woman some money and say do what you like, and then now when you actually have to get to know her, now when you're sitting face to face, what are you saying? I always see people saying, "I don't want to go on a date when you sitting at home." Well, by the third and fourth date, if I can't bring you over to my residence where I live at my home and cook you a meal, and we can't eat at the table and look eye to eye with no people around, how do you think that this relationship you're building, you're moving forward? How do you think this is going to go? You ever been on a ship? A ship is very intricate. Doors are made a certain way. The walls are made a certain way. Certain materials is needed. So you telling me if you're not building a ship, if you're not getting the right resources and material, how are you going to move? A ship can stand still. Cool. It depends why. Why is it standing still? Is it things you have to do? Because when you're in a ship, you're at port. You're parked. You're by the dock. Is are we at the dock for a reason, or are we a dock postponing because you forgot to bring the right part so we can make sure when we on our path and our journey we have the right tools, we have the right sources to get from. So if we don't have enough food, we always got to go dock and go to a harbor and find a different port. Port is to travel. If I'm at this port, I travel, but it just is like a relation. It had no meaning to it. So make sure you have substance and meaning to everything you do with this person. And going back to you, why do you want? And this goes into this one. Why do you want to be in a relationship? Some people, I know I will be a good husband, I will be a good father and a good man to my child, not based on what my father did or did not do or his father or the men around me. I know I will be good because I have taken the time out to get to know who I am. See how that goes? Once you get to know who you are, basically, if I can just sum it up and end it right there and say, there's nothing you can't do. There's nothing you cannot, there is no restriction, there is no binding, there is no law, there is no policy, there is no rule, there is no regulation, there's no rules, RUEL, that's to trick you. There's nothing that can stop you from being the best you can be for that child and that woman. And and then now what I want to talk about, the women, they call it the law of attraction. The women you are attracting. What type of women do you admire? I have to say I admire an in between. But then I learned it's a hard in between because that's like saying I'm going for the woman in my neighborhood to a woman that's corporate. But then I had to say it's not hard because if a woman born in my neighborhood and she become a business owner or she become part of a nice business, a good business, then she's from the same neighborhood. She didn't throw away. And then that's one thing. I hope she didn't forget where she came from. And a lot of us do that, men and women. But a lot of women will do that because they're trying to get away from the pains and hurt that got them pains and hurts. Why would you want to keep thinking about that? But the one thing a lot of women won't do, they will not truly overcome their pains and hurts. They will cope and find ways to comfort. And that's okay. And you have to let them deal with that. But to hide your pains and hurt, it builds up bitterness and hatred. It builds up self-hatred, other hatred, self-loathing, contempt. It won't allow that woman to be free. Just as you won't be free if you constantly want to blame someone. You only want to look at other people. And if you looking at individual as a whole, that's going to hurt you. No, what one done to me is not what all done to me. I don't care what ethnicity or race they are, or if they are another woman. All women are not like that. So all men is not like as that. So we got to start thinking about that. And some women now have been breeded and fostered and nurtured. And I wanted to say this to think they are special, to know they are special. But what I want you to know, you are a prize. You are a prize by knowing who you are. And another facet of the life we live in the world we in, is you are a prize because there's not a lot of men that respect women right now. There's not a lot of men. I found out the guy that I did a live with before, the Boricua guy, he beat on women. I had just stepped away because he was disrespecting. He was allowing a woman to come to his residence where he wasn't even paying rent. So they want to talk about African descent, man. This was a Puerto Rican man being a piece of ish to this woman. And I knew it and I couldn't be around it. I never, he was the second man, but he did it. I never seen it like this. As this, I was seeing it. Bringing women laying on the couch sleeping, feeding them, using her car to pick them up and to meet them. I was like, I cannot be around this. This is not. And you got to think about this, young men, and just men in general. Men in general, look at your friends. I'm a judge. They can say you're not supposed to judge. Well, the woman I want to be my wife, I want to make sure that my child is okay and when I'm not at home. So you are a judge. I hope we stop saying this to the young men. I will seek the honesty and truth, the all truth from people. We should start dealing on accounts of all truth and be response. Our response should be the all truth. I was talking to my friend. He was saying this wasn't this wasn't that. But I'm in my mind, I didn't want to fight him on it because that's what was going to happen. I wanted to exalt and expound on the truth, and he kept saying it's true. I was like, if you dealing in a lie, that's a lie. You even said that, and he was still dealing with the lie. So what I said, as he said he's gonna allow the woman. I said I'm gonna allow my guy that I call my friend or my brother to go into what he needs to find out because information. I told him. I said I'm not gonna even go debate you on this or talk about it because he kept bringing. He always bring up religious thing because there's nothing else he can talk about. Even when he's talking about his newborn daughter and his relationship, it's just religion. It's not just saying, man, when I started cleaning up the house, it got better. He said always have to throw in, well, when God told me to start cleaning up, and it's like that. I was like, okay, I respect that says that. But he never, and I was like, sometimes he take account of himself, but then he revert back to this. And I was like, I'll accept him. I said, I understand and respect you as you are. He even said something to me as in, I don't really, it was like, I don't really look for understanding. I look for the godly truth. I was like, what? That's understanding. I was like, how? I was like, and when we talk, I have to like, kind of like back down from his words because I have to really listen. And after sometimes he get done talking, I was like, I was as we said the same exact thing. So sometimes you're going to talk to this woman and measure yourself with the woman. You're going to be saying the same exact thing she's saying, but it's going to sound different. That's another thing I want to talk about as well. Your conversation while you're dating this woman or the women you're talking to, you're going to be saying the same exact thing, but her understanding and the language she's using, the comprehension, the words she's going to use is going to be totally different. And you're going to have to really decipher what she said. That's why every time I was in a relationship, when a woman asked me a question and it was like a noun question, I was like, I cannot answer this question right now. I can't because you're going to get a noun answer. You're not going to get an answer that's truly, it has nothing to, it might not entail all the things about me. Like if you give me an ultimatum, that's one thing I don't play around with. And we'll go into a lot of things you shouldn't play around with, what we call yellow flags and definite red flags. That what young African descendant men have no longer, we're not being nurtured. We're not even being guided. We're not even being counseled into relationship. We're just hearing a one-sided view and the man saying, well, if you don't do this, you won't have a great life. So they say happy wife, happy life. Well, if you're not happy, there's no way in the world you can make another person happy because you're not even happy for yourself first. So, or if she don't feel special, how can you make someone that don't feel special feel special? We have to start thinking about that. And that's just being logical and practical. I am very logical and very practical. If you can notice in all my talk, if murder is murder, death is death. I don't have a variance in a deep explanation of why murdering one person this way is wrong compared. I use the highest terms because it seems like that's what most people understand. We have to go to the highest and the extremes to explain information sometimes. You can't sit at a low level under the water. How you say you above the water or the surface or below. I go real deep. I dive real deep with it to give a great example because sometimes I'm learning that's how our minds works. Our minds is very complex and intricate. So while you're dealing with this woman, you have to understand Her words is the same as yours, but her comprehension is totally different. And you might have to be the bigger person this time, the bigger man, or be the man in the sense of what a man is or what a man should or shouldn't do. And just be, all right, what is she truly saying to me? You don't have to die to her. What is she saying? And you might have to decipher it. And if she want to answer, you have to tell her the best way you can. I cannot give you an answer at this moment. I have to think about what you literally just said, because that wasn't very practical of a question you asked. And another thing you can do now, I'm going into the yellow, what I call yellow and red flags. Well, to explain yellow and red flags, yellow flags are warnings, are warning signs. They do it in football. Football is soccer in America. Football Americano is American football, where you throw the what we watch every Sunday with the helmets. The original name is football. So, and it's soccer for us because it's the English version. They give a yellow card. A yellow card is a warning. So most warning is, and there's fouls and penalties. So if there's a foul and penalty, and when you're dealing with a person in football, you could be sliding too much. So the official, the referee, the person watching can tell you, hey, your slides are dangerous. You can injure someone. You're not sliding on time, or look like from our perspective, it like you're not really engaging the ball. So in life, coming out of the sports, it, a foul is a person saying like they're not engaging you the right way. They're using their past hurt and pains and they're placing them on you. So example, if you're dating someone and you're looking for common interests, and if she really have a admiration for you or admire you, she won't take 2 3 hours to text you back, because the man she admires, she's going to call him insistently. She's going to call him every day, every hour. She's going to make sure he's okay. If you got to work to get her attention, that's a yellow flag. Now, there's a red flag. A red flag is when now now I warned you. All these penalties is happening. And I told you, and now you finally injured the person. That's a red flag. So honesty, I will use honesty as an example. If you're being honest and it's taking her 80 years to be honest, what energy and effort does it take for you to tell me, well, I was talking to another man and I found him more attractive or more interested and admire him? What energy? That's not going to hurt. What is going to hurt is if she won't tell you. And we've all been through that. A lot of good men been through that. And if you start thinking about things that you desire and you want in life, you got to take the time out to really figure out who you are. So as you take the time out to know who you are, and if you're seeking a relationship and date, know why you want a relationship, know why you want to date. They talk about marriage. Why you want to get married? I want to be married, but what I'm learning from marriage, if you look at marriage, it's a contract. It's a contract. It's a trick to put you into you're making obligations and duties to do instead of it's not doing it out of willingness. Always want a willing and a participating woman that garners all the things that you garnish. If you garnish respect in your life and it's a trend, that means from day one, from the first woman I've been with, from the last woman I've been with, I upheld respect for myself. Even if I didn't know the truth, we got this understanding of life. We don't know the truth feeling, and we don't know what respect. No, respect come from yourself. If I know I'm not playing tricks on myself, why'd I allow another person to play tricks on me? That's respect. And once they do that, that's easy. Bye. That's a red flag. You not being honest, that's a red flag. You're waiting to see what I do. That's a lot of yellow flag, because that's showing me you only gonna move when I move. Women like man as the head, but do women want men as the head? And and check out the lady Vera, Sarah Lena, her most recent video. African descendant women don't want good men. Good African descendant men don't want good women. But I'm gonna say more so to women, Because the women have to choose. She have to choose whether she want a man that's going to make sure she's okay, good in life, her everything she got going on, she's able to do, or she's going to want a man that she's going to have to struggle with, that she's going to give money to, going to allow her to drive her car while she's at work. Regardless of, I don't have a car. I don't have a lot of things that women, so called, a man should have. But I have a peace of mind, and I'm respectful, and I don't use women. I have my own home. I'm about to have my own house because I don't have all these things in the same fashion as they see fit. And you got to understand that, man. That don't make you less of a man. What make you less of a man is when you start doing and what you shouldn't be doing. If you abuse women, you got to check yourself. If if you find yourself with a woman that's causing you a lot of pains and hurt, you can't blame her how you respond to her. Only can blame yourself. That's vice versa. That even goes for women. If a man, if you with a man and he's doing that to you, you better leave. I would never tell a woman to stay around a man that punched her. Because what's gonna happen, he's gonna keep punching you. And if he keep punching you, you gotta know when to leave. Most of the cases by police force, I took up criminal justice. Most calls, 80% of calls, is not the crime we see on TV, the murders, the robberies. That's we don't even realize. I grew up in a neighborhood that was the worst neighborhood. My whole life, it's only been so many crimes out there. There's a lot of fights because that's what the hood, the mentality of having. That's the curse of the hood, the projects in the ghetto called. That's the mentality. That's what it's supposed to do because that's the curse. That's the incantations and the spells we keep using because we keep using those words. That's why I call it neighborhood. I call it neighbor and surrounding. It's not a community because I never been around people that was came together to fight one cause so we can all have a great life together. I've never been around that. I've been through marches and meetings, but as a collective, besides those marches and meetings, nothing came from them. So as you entail yourself in relationship in your life, what lessons have you learned now? There's going to be lessons. And if you think about, for me, I haven't learned any lessons. I learned a lot of what not to do or what I do not enjoy from a woman, what I do not want to see, and I do now what I do want to see from a woman. But I already had those examples because I had a great mother. She couldn't teach me how to be a man, but she taught me how to be a respectable man. And what I say unto one, I say unto you all. It's your path, it's your journey, it's your choice. Choose wisely. Remember, you have the power, you have the ability to set forth whatever you desire to bring forth. If you want greatness, greatness is going to be set forward. If you want to be acidic, toxic, and corrosive and negative, that's the negative things you're going to get in your life. So, and what we have to understand, that's a mental disorder. That's another thing. I'm going to do a better one next time, a better presentation and a live, and it's going to become a recording next time. But I had one, and that's how I know they didn't want me to do it. When I know things don't happen, even when I did a live about the synopsis of America through accent talking to white, it messed up. I even tried it again. It deleted my life. So we don't want to talk. So anything about the truth I'm learning, the real truth, the all truth is being messed with. And that's all I can do is smile. Because I'm not out here doing nothing wrong to people. You can ask anybody about me. You would never hear somebody on the news say, well, I didn't know he was like that. Because you do know whatever I did, you know. I didn't know. No, there's a reason. If I had to really kill a person, believe me, there's a great reason of why that happened. And it's not some simple minded, some everyday type of reason. It had to be some things going on. And then most likely an account of me, and I will tell you, that person killed themselves. They probably took a weapon out and tried to hurt me. And me defending myself, it caused them to hurt their own selves to the point of death. And I can honestly tell you that will happen. I can honestly tell you, and I know with my heart and my mind and heart, spirit and soul, I would never murder a person. I would never go, I'm never going to prison. You got to manifest those things. I am too bright. I am too intelligent to watch another man go to jail and prison. He told me I'm going to be greater. The time before me tell me I'm going to be greater. I'm going to learn from him and not be better from him. And because he's watching me. He's watching me as I watched him. Like, he's being better. He used my he used, and if I don't, even all the things I don't say about relationship, think about everything you've been through. Think about it. Think about how all the women act with you. Think about all the bad things you did, all the negative things you did towards women. Now think about all the good things. Now think about your relationships with the women. What you could have done? One thing you could have done is, like, it sounds funny, is done some research on her, study her, look at her sign. What do she enjoy eating? Do she have a hobby? Did you go out with her? Did you take her out? Was you doing the things? Was you encouraging her to do the things she enjoyed? Was she encouraging you doing the things you enjoy? What are your hobbies? What do you enjoy? Are you doing those things to keep yourself happy? Are things you was doing, was they toxic, acidic, and corrosive to your relationship with her? Do you have a lot of females? That's one of them. Now, are all them females around you of the opposite sex truly genuine? Are the males around you of the same sex? Are they truly genuine about who you are? But you got to know who to run with and who not to run with. I don't go out with all my male friends. Some we just play sports. I don't invite all of them. Or guys, I don't call them friends. They're associates. I don't bring associates to my house. If he have a history of cheating, I don't want him to meet my woman. I'm going to talk to my woman about him first. And if he ever come to an event or she around, this is the man she is. I mean, this is the man he is. And what type of woman do you have? We always keep teaching and fashioning and nurturing. Somebody shouldn't know their past. But if your past is detrimental to your future, as in, let's say example, I'm not a sex offender, but example, you a sex offender because you was in a school zone at a young age, you was having sex with a young lady. So they called you and that happens, a sex offender. You got to be mindful. Now that's detrimental. You might want to tell your new woman that you met 10, 5, 6 years later, or a couple months, you met her later. It's information that need to know. So if you take the time out with the information that's for you, you don't gotta worry about relationship and dating. And if you and all else fails, I say fail, you are a success still. All else fail, you are a success. Just because you didn't find someone that fitted into who you are, and then don't be too hard on other people. Just because you don't have habits, other people have habits. Just because you can have a great understanding, other people may not have great understanding. So you got to always try to find ways to make ways and to show who you are. As long as you being who you are, you have nothing to worry about. And I say, you be great. It was something I wanted to say. I wrote that down, me too. You be who you are. The person will accept you as you are. This to the young men and young women. You don't have to do anything more than that you don't want to do. And if you're doing more, there is a such thing as too much. I'm starting to see this. A man going to accept me for who I am. There's no too much. Yes, there is. If it's too much for you, it's too much. That don't make you less of a man. That don't make you more of a man. That don't make you anything different of a man. You know what it took for you to become a man, or what you're going through, and your man, your manship. You're moving forward. You are great, and know that you are a prize. No one can take you from you. Only you. Only you can stop yourself from going forward and being your best. So long as you going forward and being your best, working yourself through different processes, knowing this is what it took for you to get here, no matter what, know what one person says. Everybody's life is different. My counsel, my guidance is only helpful enough into what entails in your life. If I didn't bring up what entails in your life, think about how can you better that area of your life, the better for you. You better you,
everything become easier. It has nothing to do with a woman. And if you're only seeking a woman to mother you, you not that's on you. I can't do it, but to me that would be wrong. I'm looking for a woman to respect me, to love me, and to show me that even in the things that I know I can be better at. I met a woman, but her understanding of me got crossed because she didn't have I would listen to things she say. She didn't have a great understanding of herself. She allowed a 4-year old to make her cry. So you got to think about that. And there's no diss to her, but to tell me I got to be super better than my wrongdoers to me, that caused me, that was a yellow flag. She broke it off because that was not enough for her. So that was cool. That was actually good. And we got to start. And then one thing I would end it with, a lot of breakups is not always bad. You got to think back about what that person said or did. Think about what you said and done. What caused the relationship not to be so successful? It was a success because you made a. If you learned some lessons and understand, like, man, I could have did this. That's a lesson. But think about what brought it down, and think about the pros and the cons. What brought it up? What brought it down? And you have a great day. Be the best you can. It's winter. Still hydrate. Drink water. Keep your body in good health. Try to drink more water than acidic foods or eat acidic food. And try to be the best you. Make you the best you can ever be. Have a resolve and a resolution to be the best. Don't worry about the new year. The new year is coming. Be better than the day you were before. Every day, build yourself with positive, good morals, affirmations, reinforcements, enforcements. You are great. You are good. You are better than you used to be. Remember last year? You thought you was gonna die. Look at you now. You striving and thriving. You was maintaining, sustaining. Now you striving and you thriving. You moving. You never thought you was gonna be in the spot you are today. You never thought you was gonna be this good. You never thought you was gonna be better. Remember all that evil ish you did? Look at this year. You didn't touch those drugs. You didn't badmouth those people. You're not even thinking about those people. Hopefully, I didn't make you think about those people. But you got to start remembering you are a good person. You are good. You are good for this world. They teaching you you're not. You are great. You don't even know the greatness in you. And if you are a young lady, a young woman, you have power. Not just this corny power they say you got. I mean, your womb has power. You have the power to give life, to give and take life through your words and through your body and your womb. So, shalom.